The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. I'm Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. And this Saturday morning, I'm joined by Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Andy. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I will admit, though, I'm a big fan of daylight savings time, and I'm sad to see it going away.
I know. It's so sad when it's 5 o'clock and it's pitch dark.
There's folks out there who want to get rid of it altogether all year round, and I'm certainly not one of them. I like the summer nights when it stays light so late. I do
too. I like that too. I absolutely do. But the thing about daylight savings is when it's time to fall back, it just means fall, followed by winter. But today's beautiful. Sun's shining. It's gorgeous out.
Yeah, it's seasonal, I think is what they call it for this time of the year. But yeah, you're right. And fall means get ready for winter.
Yeah, and so there's a lot to do to get ready, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people out there that said, I started to cut back my landscaping and then it snowed, so I didn't finish. So I'm sure there's going to be people doing some yard work today and maybe raking some leaves, and I'm, for one, going to put away the rest of my outdoor furniture because we got a lot of it put away and then it snowed. So the rest of it sat out, but now it's nice. We're going to get that put away this afternoon. So I'll have that done, and then I'll be ready to start Christmas decorating.
Is that right?
Well, maybe not today, but, I will be soon. Anyway, I always tell people, and I know that there's a commercial. One of the attorneys in town has a commercial for it, too. But I always tell people that when it's daylight savings time, it's a good time to check all the batteries in your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors, because if you think, okay, when did I do it last? Oh, yeah, I did it when I changed the clocks ahead, and now I'm going to do it when I change the clocks back. And then it just becomes something that you do on a routine schedule. And I think it's a great idea. Somebody told me about it maybe 10 years ago, and we've been doing it faithfully. So when you're turning back that clock, also take the time to check all your batteries and your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors. I also think that I'd like to remind people, if you're out in the yard today, and even if you're not, even though we will have some 50-degree weather coming up, take the hoses off, put them away. Don't take the chances of freezing the outlet, spigot.
Yep. It's a mistake you will make once.
You've made that mistake. I know. I remember you telling me. Yeah, it's not good because you don't want to turn on the water next spring and flood the inside. No, you definitely don't want to do that.
I still, to this day, I can still remember. What's that noise? That sounds like water splashing somewhere. What is that? Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's a terrible feeling. Terrible, terrible. But yeah, it's a mistake we all make. Another thing that I think is a huge thing to remember is soon we're going to be much more dependent on our furnaces. Some of us have already had them on, but let's face it, if they weren't working properly, it wouldn't have been a big deal, just a little chilly and uncomfortable. But, it's not too far away that the weather's going to be miserable, and we will need those furnaces. So this is also a good time of the year to call your HVAC provider and say, hey, I'd like to have you come out and just clean and check my furnace, make sure everything's good, ready for winter. Check and change your furnace filters. If you are one that gets to enjoy a real wood fire, make sure you're doing that in a chimney that's clean, because, we don't want anybody's house to burn down.
And unfortunately, it seems like every winter you're going to hear about that chimney fire.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, a lot of people just don't know. People buy a house, and I'm one of them. Well, not now, of course, but our very first house had a wood-burning fireplace. And I thought, oh, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to have a wood-burning fireplace. Well, it was a lot of work, and I had that baby changed to gas about 3 or 4 years in. We have friends that have a wood-burning fireplace, and I love being able to go over to their house and sit in front of it. But they can be the ones that maintain it and chop the wood and clean up the mess, but they love it, and they don't mind doing it, and so it works for all of us.
Yeah, and the thing too, those who have the wood fireplace and use it infrequently,
yes,
that's might even be worse than using it all the time.
And that was us when we had one. And I remember one time I was trying to start a fire, and Scott was at work, and I thought, I'm going to have this big crackling, roaring fire. Well, what a joke. I had smoke billowing in my house, and I didn't know how to get it out. It was so awful. Yes. Yeah. Wood-burning fireplaces are not for those who don't know how to use them, and like keeping the chimney clean. That's a really important thing. What I do see a lot of people do who have wood burning fireplaces who really aren't that wood burning fireplace savvy, they'll buy those Duraflame logs and just throw a couple of those in there when they want a fire, and those burn pretty clean and they're pretty easy. But
once again, it doesn't mean you don't have to clean up the chimney, because
it sure doesn't.
Build up, that's for sure.
Yeah, they'll still get the creosote. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was like you. I could get a fire going just fine, but it would be the process. It would take me a good 20 minutes to a half an hour to get the fire going well enough to enjoy it. And then, oh gosh, it's almost time to hit the hay.
Our wood was way out in the backyard, and it was all stacked up neatly, and it looked so nice. Well, then when you had to trudge across the snow and then fill up the sled and pull it in, it was great when Scott did it, but when it was for me to do it, I was like, I hate this. So then I told him, Scott, I would like you to move that wood pile into the garage. I didn't realize that with the wood pile, we're going to come the mice family. I'm like, no, I don't want that. Get it out. So then it was like, all right. And gas fireplace.
Those big spiders that are the size of a quarter that are always in the wood piles. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Not for me. For me.
But you brought up the gas fireplace, and I have one now as well. They are a furnace, essentially. So
they absolutely are.
They need to be checked, too.
Right. And it's important. So honestly, most of the time now, if you have a gas fireplace and you call your HVAC people, they will say to you, it's probably good if we check your gas fireplace as well as your furnace. So good point, Andy. Yes, that's very important to do that too.
Yeah, the carbon monoxide thing is nothing to fool around with, that's for sure.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. But you've talked about the stuff that keeps us warm in the winter, but your house as well needs maintenance.
Right.
If you don't get it buttoned up before it gets really nasty outside, some really bad things can start to happen.
And so that's why we do take advantage of these last little, couple weeks. So we'll probably have some weather in the 50s and get as much of that, maintenance ready for the winter work done.
Is there anything that is more important than all the others as far as the maintenance of the house before winter? Outside of the furnace being working properly.
Well, the one thing that gets a lot of people is all those leaves that are falling. If they fill up the gutters and then you kind of forget about them, and then spring comes along and now they've kind of frozen in their solid, and then sometimes we'll get those early spring rainstorms, and then people don't understand why the water runs right over the top of the gutter.
I've seen trees growing out of gutters.
Yeah. I call those gutter gardens. When I pull up to a house and there's all kinds of little things literally growing in the dirt that's in the gutters, I say, look, they have a gutter garden. And they're like, huh? But yeah, those leaf guards and gutter guards are amazing. And I think it's something that people, not that I'm doing any commercial for gutter guards, but I think it's a really good investment for people that don't want to get up on the ladder and clean out those gutters and maybe might just forget about them. So, good way to keep them clean.
Well, another thing about the gutters before we take our quick break here is if it's frozen all winter long, you're probably going to be more susceptible to ice dams.
Exactly. And the gutters falling off the house and all kinds of things. There's lots of maintenance that comes with owning a house, no doubt about it. And the better understanding you have, the easier it is to manage.
We're talking home maintenance before the winter with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. And we'll be right back after this quick break on Newstalk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is Newstalk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Welcome back. Andy Brownell along with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results here on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. We're talking maintenance, home maintenance as we button up for the winter time. This being an excellent time of the year to take care of those things, seeing as it looks like we're going to have a warm stretch. We're talking about winter maintenance, but I own a home. It seems like it never stops, Rob.
Oh, you're right. Because then comes summer, it's like, okay, now it's time to change it back and get it ready for the fall, for the spring, rather. And now it's time to make sure our air conditioning is working, and there's always something. I mean, with owning a home, it's an ongoing project, and I can't stress enough how important it is to take care of your home and keep that maintenance up. I mean, think about it as your largest bank account, your biggest asset, and so you want it to continue to improve in value, and the better you take care of it, of course, the more it's going to improve in value. So I always tell people, home maintenance is no joke, and some people will just kind of live in it and kind of let things get away with it. Oh yeah, I'll go to a listing appointment. Yeah, that's been broken for 12 years, and now I suppose I have to replace it. And like the handles taped to the microwave door or something like that. And it's like, okay, so you've been dealing with that, living with that, and yes, now you do have to replace it and buy a brand new one for the next owner when you could have just done it and made life easier for you. So I say, as things need to be taken care of, take care of them. Of course, as fits your budget, etc. But keep that house as nice as you can keep it. And so it's not going to be a total fix-up for the next homeowner. It's going to be something that might need to be updated. Paint colors might need to be changed, flooring, those kind of things. People put their own stamp on it, but at least it's in good repair.
You brought up the great point there too, Robin, that if you do the maintenance, you get to actually enjoy what you did, rather than it be something, I got to spend this money because I'm selling.
Yeah, I had a lady who told me she had a Formica countertop, and it was a very nice looking countertop, and she had set her husband had set a hot pot on it, and she had this big round burnt mark on her kitchen counter, and it wasn't back in the corner where you could set something on it and hide it. It's like right by the kitchen sink. And she told me, I have hated looking at that. And I said, and this wasn't recently, this was a couple years back, and I said, and now you're going to have to get new countertops because someone is not going to want that. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's what I was afraid you were going to say. And she said, I've been telling him so many years we should just get this replaced, and it didn't cost her a lot of money. And she said, oh, I wish I wouldn't have waited. I would have loved having these countertops all these years. So yeah, just keep in mind, if it's something that you don't like and you do think you're going to sell the house down the road, is the new buyer going to want that, or are they going to expect that to be fixed or replaced?
Add it to the list.
Add it to the list, the honey-do list.
Well, if you have the list, at least then you were talking about as your budget allows, you can start planning for it.
Absolutely. It's not like everything has to be done immediately, but I say, you are the one that should reap the benefit of having those things updated, replaced, repaired, fixed, whatever it is. Not wait and do it, spend the money, invest the money just to sell it to the next person.
I know that often when you're talking about some of your new listings, the way you describe a new listing is, here's this home that's 25, 30 years old, and you're saying it looks like it's brand new.
Right.
Because these people took such good care of it. And I imagine that has got to make it really easy to sell a place.
Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. And, there's a flip side to that, too, Andy, because now in a market where houses sit on the market for 3 or 4 months, which we haven't been in one of those markets for a while, but in a market like that, fixing those things and replacing those things was really important. Now it's much less important because the inventory is so low. We have a new listing, just listed it yesterday. As a matter of fact, Sherry from our team will be doing an open house there this afternoon from 1 o'clock till 2:30. This is a perfect example of you know what you see is what you get. The address is 105 26th Street Northwest. It is a great house. It is 4 bedrooms up. Upstairs, there is a master bath, and that's a 3/4 bath. And then there's a full bath. So the master has its own bath. The other 3 bedrooms share a full bath. And I think it's about probably just under 1,000 square feet upstairs, 900, something like that. On the main level, you walk in, there's like a 6 by 8 foot foyer. You go to the right, there's a huge living room, like a formal living room almost, 19 by 13 or something like that. And then you come huge. It's huge. And then you come around the corner into what they used it as a formal dining room, could clearly be made into a home office space very easily. They just put doors on those open archways and it becomes a great office, right? And then you keep going in, and then you're in a pretty large kitchen. And the kitchen is an eat-in kitchen, so there's room for a table and chairs there as well. And then it has a great big family room. Again, I think the family room's like 19 by 13. So it's a lot of space, and a half bath on that level as well, and a sun porch. And then downstairs, there's a big finished family room with tile floor. And then there's a laundry room, a half bath, and a storage room. Now, the folks that own the house have lived there for something like 45 years. And I'm sure they kept very, very good care of the home. But in the most recent years, they're elderly. It's hard to maintain a home when you're getting up there in years. It's really hard. So they're like, oh, Robin, we probably have to paint all these walls, and we probably have to replace some floors because the office chair rolled over this and scratched it up, and the carpets have stains. And it feels really nice to be able to say to these people, guess what? You don't have to worry about it because the inventory is so low that people understand if there's something available that has good bones. The roof is less than 10 years old, and like I said, it's got a big flat backyard. Really, it's a great house. It's going to make somebody a really nice house. It's over in the like the back side of Elton Hills. So when you're coming from Broadway, you turn right away. I think it's Viking Drive, right by Valhalla there.
Yep.
And you head back. So you head north, and you head way to the back there, and it sits right on the corner lot. And then there's like a cutout where you have like extra parking that would really only serve you.
I think I know the house you're talking about. You
know the house? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
I grew up over that area. So
okay. Perfect. So anyway, they were so happy, this couple that's, getting up in years. They were so happy when I said, no, you guys, you do not have to change the carpet. You do not have to paint the walls. So we've got the house listed accordingly. We have it priced at $259,900. So we are right in that sweet spot. I mean, this is a 3,000 square foot house with over 2,400 of it finished. And, it's going to make a great house for somebody. It's a really desirable area of town. It's conveniently located, lots of families around, and the neighborhood is one of those neighborhoods that's doing the turnover, where the people who have lived there for 30 and 40 years are moving on and the younger families are moving in. So I have a feeling Sherry's going to have a really busy open house today, and I won't be surprised at all if by the end of the weekend we have an offer. That's what we're hoping for.
So what time was the open house again? 1?
It's from 1 o'clock till 2:30 today.
Okay.
At 105 26th Street Northwest.
Excellent. Okay, we do have to take a quick break, Rob. We'll be back.
Okay.
With some more chat with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back, Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. That neighborhood you're talking about, you said it's turning over,
right?
And I imagine, knowing the demographics of the community, that's going to be happening more and more, that you're going to have folks who are getting older in the years and it's time to downsize and move into a different situation where perhaps there's not stairs or...
Correct.
That's got to be a huge challenge for
some of these people are so overwhelmed because you know how much you've lived in your house a long time.
Yeah.
And you know how much stuff you've accumulated over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And you're still young, and if you decide, okay, I got to get rid of some of this stuff, I'm going to declutter, and we're going to get serious this weekend, and we're going to get rid of it, it's easy for you to do that. But when you're 80 years old and your knees are bad or your balance is bad or your sight is bad, it's not easy. It's not easy to say, hey, it's time to attack this room and go through these closets and get rid of 45 years worth of stuff. It's overwhelming. We might like to assume that all of these aging people have, grown adult children who are here and willing to help them, but it's not always the case because sometimes they don't have children at all. Sometimes they have children, but they live across the country. Sometimes they have children who live nearby, but they have no desire to help them. So the reality of it is sometimes these elderly people are just completely overwhelmed and have no idea where they should even start.
Yeah, or just to get started.
Yeah, they don't know. Where do I start? I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know. So this particular house that I was talking to you about that is going to be held open this afternoon, those folks literally called me for the first time 1 year ago and said, and I've known these people for a long time. Actually, we became friends through Rochester Better Chance years and years ago. So they called me and said, okay, Robin, we need you to come over because in about a year, we want to get rid of this house and go to a one-level living townhome situation. So we literally have met over the course of the last year, like 4 different times to just say, okay, now focus on this, or can I help you put these things on Facebook Marketplace, or can I haul some of this stuff to the dump for you, just to get them rolling. And they have one of their kids lives nearby in the cities, and he has a good friend in Rochester who's been a big help. So, I mean, they have some help, but it's really overwhelming, and they just don't know where do I start and what do I need to do to get ready. So there's never, I always welcome phone calls, and if people are thinking about this even in the future, I don't want them to feel like, oh, I shouldn't probably bother her yet. I'm not going to sell my house for at least another year, because it's fine. We're always happy to come in and consult. As a matter of fact, Andy, we've got some agents on our team who specialize in this. They have the designation of senior real estate specialist, and they specialize in working with seniors, and they're able to really coordinate the move all the way from, oh, do you need us to find someone to come in here and pack for you? We can coordinate that. Do you need us to find someone to arrange a moving sale or an estate sale? We're happy to coordinate that. Do you have somebody in mind for packing and moving? Because we can help you line that up. And then on the other end of that, we're working diligently to establish relationships with those people that provide those services. And we're actually working on negotiating better prices, because a lot of times these senior citizens are living on a pretty strict budget. So it's not like they can just throw out the money to have somebody clean and have somebody pack and have somebody move, because, we want to try to help them do this in a way that they can afford it, and it helps this whole idea of downsizing and moving become so much more joyful and so much less stressful.
That's a godsend, is what that is.
Oh, thanks.
So when you say don't feel shy about calling, it almost sounds like if this is something you're looking out on the horizon doing, you should be calling early to have
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we want to work with our clients on their timeline and their schedule, and we basically want to come in and help them set up a roadmap. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. this is the timeline that I would like to see it happen. When do I do this? And when do I do that? When do I, start identifying where I'm moving to and purchase a property? And we talk about, do you want to own both properties at the same time? Do you want to get what you're taking into that one and then get this one sold? And it's different for every single client, like it is in every age group, but it's a lot more sensitive when you start working with the elderly people because they're just more used to, knowing exactly how it's going to play out. The unknown is scary, I think.
Yeah.
Unsettling. It's unsettling.
I'm already at that.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, well,
I was at the grocery store yesterday and I went to check out and the sweet little girl said, "Do you qualify for our senior discount today?" I was like, how do I answer that?
I think you did with your eyes, right?
Probably. I had a mask on, so all she could see was my eyes, and it was probably a good thing.
Okay, a little birdie told me that you are now the proud owner of a historic building.
Oh my gosh, we did. We closed on our building yesterday. We're super excited about it. Our office in Wabasha, initially we were just going to rent the space and it was just a portion of the building. And a few months into our contract, the owners decided they wanted to sell it. And I thought, nope, now we're all set up here and established. We're just going to buy it. So yeah, we've got, I don't know what we're going to do with all this space. We've got, one little small space that my dad tells me should be a barber shop. So, a barber that wants to open a barber shop in Wabasha, I've got the spot. And then there's a bigger space that has been an ice cream parlor. It's been a kombucha shop. It's had a couple different things. It has a little, I don't want to say kitchen, but sink and counter and stuff like that set up. Right now, it is going to store my pool furniture for this winter. Perfect. And then, upstairs is a big open space that we're going to eventually make a nice 3-bedroom Airbnb. So I'm excited about that venture as well.
Wow, that is exciting. So, if I'm a senior citizen who may be wanting to sell, maybe not right now, but down the road.
Even if you're 25 years old and want to buy, anybody who needs help with real estate, we'll take their calls, we'll help them, and we'll give them service above and beyond.
So what is that number?
My cell phone is always available, 507-259-4926. And you can also reach out to our, look us up on our website and you can get all the names of the team members and all their phone numbers. And that is gwaltneygroup.com.
All right. Thanks a lot, Robin. We'll talk again next week. Robin Gwaltney.
Thank you, Andy.
With Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.